we're back with Attila, and unfortunately I've been sick, so it's a little, my throat's still kind of raspy, so won't talk a lot. I'll work a little bit and maybe do some voiceovers. We can straighten this on the dealy bob here. So I had a good question, and someone asked, how long does it take them to get over something? And what comes to mind to me is, I have a friend that's afraid of snakes, and he's 54 years old. And I don't know why he hasn't gotten over being afraid of snakes yet. But when you have that fear, again, it's an exorbitant fear of snakes. It can be a little racer and he's afraid of it. But there's a false evidence appearing real. But unfortunately for the horse, if they've had some bad exposure, it's best to expose them properly in the first place. But a lot of people don't. They don't take the time. And horses, everybody wants a good horse, but not many people really want to put the time in on a good horse. And unfortunately, it's not about getting them over it. Yes, if you do it enough and you're confident enough, most horses get to where you'd never notice it. But if you went back to hitting one with a whip or some things like that, they'd probably go back to being afraid pretty quick. So again, it's getting them some exposure in a way that they can learn to tolerate it and not be afraid. But they might get afraid, they might get tight. That's kind of why especially why we do groundwork, is they might be tight to kind of start out with and a little worried. So we do some of that work to get them where they're ready to ride. And some horses take more preparation than the next. Again, the guy said he wants to be friends there, but I don't want him to run over the top of me. If you take the time it takes, it'll surely take less time. But if you don't, you cut corners, surely you're going to have to deal with that problem again and again. If you don't get through kindergarten, you're destined to kind of keep going back to it. I want to be able to bump him here. But I want him to move off of that softly and not kind of grab himself when he does. I'd like to have him follow this wheel here without having to even bump him. But when I bump him, I don't want him to kind of get tight and jerky with it. I'd like him to stay fluid with that and be okay with it. But he still gets worried about it up here and on both sides, keeping track of it. And that's why we do it. Some people may not want to ride that tightness or be worried, so we do groundwork with it. Next ride or two, I keep meaning I want to ride him with the flag. Now he can move his feet. I'm asking him to go. Good. Now I'll pet him with it. I'm asking him to stop. My hand's lowered. Now I lift my hand, and I'd like him to go. But not be afraid. Good. Little ouchie there. Good. Now step over behind it, bend at your head, and stay soft. Don't anticipate there. I'm not asking you to bring the front. Keep rolling that hind. Keep rolling that hind. Keep rolling the hind. Yield away from you. You roll the hind. Now don't be afraid when it goes whoosh. Okay. Work at it. Good. With a good frame of mind. And then we quit. So we do a little, and then we take a break. So anyways, it takes that time. And you're constantly, they never get there really. It's just about building a partnership. It's like any sort of relationship. You know, you have good moments, you have bad moments, and you work through them. And you find out my responsibility as a horseman is how can I help that horse understand? And that should be anybody that's riding a horse. get more comfortable, he'll help me do my job. So anyways, thanks for watching. Enjoy the journey.